TR here. Today we're going to do a little tutorial and show you how to upgrade a Trem that has a very wimpy zinc trem block that commonly comes in Asian guitars. You don't have to put up with it. So a lot of import guitars that have a synchronized tremolo will have this very, very thin trem block in them. You don't have to upgrade the whole bridge in order to upgrade your guitar. You can just change the block. I'm sure there's other places that sell them. I get mine from Guitar Fetish. I'll leave a link down below. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't support them in any way. They don't support me. I order stuff from them. Used to be a lot nicer because it was closer to home. They were like, I think they were in New Hampshire, and I live in the northern part of New York State, and it would just take like 2 days. I'd have it. And they got smart like I should, and they moved to Florida. They moved to Sarasota, and now it takes me like, probably about a working week to get it. Take about 5 days, but still, they're a reliable place to get parts. And are they still Asian made? Yeah, but they're a lot better quality. This particular bridge that we will be changing out today is out of a Kramer Beretta Special. Best bang for the buck guitar out there in my opinion. If you can get one, they're made out of unobtainium. Okay, so what are we going to need? Well, the first thing you're going to need is your bridge out of your Kramer, which mine is already out of the guitar because there is a whole nother bridge with trem block residing in there right now, but that's a story for another day. That's coming out. I'm upgrading the one that came in it, and the reason is pure stupidity, guitardedness if you will, is I have two Kramer Beretta Specials and I want them to be identical twins, said for the color, one being red, the other being purple. Next thing you need is your replacement trem block. It's a D90. This is what's known as the shorty. It's a little bit smaller this way to fit the thinner import bodies, and I find it works quite nice. You will see it comes with these screws, which you may or may not want to use. You're going to see in the case of this particular bridge, we're going to choose to not use it because the screws that are in it are smaller. I apologize for the table shaking around. First thing you need to do is remove these saddles. Can take note of where they're at and try and put them back in a similar position and more quickly intonate when the time comes. I'll remove one for you here, and then we'll jump ahead through the magic of photography. So it's just a Phillips screwdriver, and this just turns, and you'll see the screw will get longer. Don't lose your spring. There's a little spring there. Pay attention to what direction it was. The fat part goes against here, the skinny part goes against here. Okay, through the magic of the camera, we jump forward in time. Now, a little pro tip for you here, which is hilarious because I'm not a pro. Keep these in the order you take them off, because if this was set up previously for your action, you're going to want to put them back in order so that the action doesn't end up like all just chaotic and up and down and all over the place. It's a good idea to set it up again when you get it all put back together anyways, but I mean, if you've got these roughly with the string action back where they belong, that's gonna save you in the long run. So that's what I do. I keep them in the order that I took them out of the guitar. That way when I put them back together, I will put them back in thusly in the same order. Next, we have these screws. These are the ones I mentioned. The ones that come with the trem block are a little bigger in this case. If the ones with the block fit, I'd use them because they're probably better quality metal. But the thing is, these are recessed down into the bridge, and because of that, I want to use them. If I use the ones that came with the new trem block, they're going to stick up, and I don't want that. I've had this happen when I've done this before, and I've used the same solution by using the same screws over. When I take them apart, I'll be able to show you, and you'll be able to compare them. You really see the difference of them. And I haven't had any problems yet with the threads matching. The threads match. So I can use... Take a look comparison of these two blocks, just for... Look at that. And this is zinc. You can test it. Magnet won't stick to it. This thing is steel. It sucks a magnet against it like a black hole. Big difference, huh? Keep in mind, you may need a different trem arm with this, because this is going to be trem arm actually goes into here, and this is going to be threaded for a better quality trem arm than this likely is. Okay, and I'll show you the difference with these screws here now. Get them so you can see them. One is clearly bigger than the other as far as the size of the head, but the thread should be the same. Threads will be the same. And that's the part that matters. And as I said, I would prefer to use the new ones, but problem is if I use the new ones, they're going to stick up, and if they stick up, the saddles are going to hit them. And I don't want the saddles to hit them. I'll put those old ones back in the old block. I always put everything away and save it, because you never know. Save it for a rainy day. Very important. Make sure these holes line up with these holes when you put this thing together, because if they don't, you're going to have grief. So that's what we're going to do. Doesn't matter which one you do first. I'm just going to pick the center here to get me started. Pardon my clumsiness looking through a camera lens. I don't know how the doctors do it. Surgeons that do like robotic surgery and stuff like that, or well, actually more laparoscopic type surgery in the old days, be looking through the camera to work. But same idea, robotic too. You're controlling the robot. It's different. I suppose in this day and age of video games, we're probably breeding a generation of surgeons that will just be natural robotic surgeons. I happen to know a guy that's good. I got a guy. Get this third screw in, and then we'll put things back together. And you want to make sure these are nice and snug, because once you put the saddles back in, you won't be able to tighten them, and it'll be a pain if you don't have them snug down. You'll wish you did. Of course, you don't want to round over the screw heads or not, because then you're going to be stuck using those ones that I didn't want to use. And you can see it's good and solid. It fits. And now we have to put the saddles back. I'll demonstrate one of those, and then we'll do the magic again. So, as I said before, the screw, the spring, try and get the screw out of the spring. You want the wide part of the spring to go towards the back. So, shove that through there, put the spring on, start this on here. Little screwdriver action, get her started. And then repeat times 6. And through the magic of the camera, we're almost done here. Fighting to get my spring back out of my screw here. Come on, fingers, work. These things don't understand that, you know, you get old and your parts don't work like they used to. And I'm not talking about the guitar parts. Woke up one morning and I was 60. I don't know how the hell it happened. Seems like yesterday I was in my first grade classroom with a nun yelling at me because I wouldn't put my crayons away. I was drawing an apple tree. I was having a good time. Such is life. Okay, now this thing's about ready to go back on the guitar. You can see I have my intonation roughed in pattern of 3 and 3. And then, you know, it'll be ballpark to get started. And we'll maybe show intonation for another tutorial. We'll call this probably a part 1, and part 2 is probably going to be installing it in the guitar. So there you go, and you guys have a good day.